Okay, so this was the first Omnibus F4 which I ordered, and as I mentioned in my mail, it was defective. So I was unable to connect it to the computer, and it don't even start it. So I can just prove it to you. So nothing happened. Okay, after that, I claimed and wrote an email and asked to help me with this quality issue. And just a few days ago, I received the second one. It's also F4 flight controller. During my first connection to the computer, it was okay, and it was connected to the computer. I can do some configuration via Betaflight, and okay, I just was convinced that it works well, and just after I started to solder all these needed components, such as buzzer, receiver, connecting to the electronic speed controller, and make configuration all these components. So I connect. When I connect first time, it was okay. I configure all information inside the Betaflight, not all, but partly. I connected second time with battery. When I soldered it, I connected the battery and do some configuration also in electronic speed controller, also with receiver, etc, etc, etc. All was okay. Motor are spinning. I change also the direction of this motor, so electronic speed controller works well. Receiver works well. I connect it, bind it to the transmitter. All was perfect. Buzzer works well. All was perfect. I just need to reconfigure some points in flight controller and finish configuration of the speed controller. So before, speed controller works well. As I mentioned before, I changed the motor direction, rotation direction of the rotation of motors, and I not finished the whole configuration of this board. So my third connection was due to I need to finish configuration of electronic speed controller and some fine-tuning inside the Betaflight of the flight controller. So I just plugged in the battery. So first of all I connected to the USB, then I connected to the battery, and suddenly smoke goes on the bottom side of this board. So I just need to highlight that all this connection before was just perfect. All works well. Electronic speed controller, flight controller works well. I checked the these pin pads. I checked the voltage. It was 5 volts. Also, I configured the receiver. It's binded, so all works perfectly. And the last connection, the third one, during this connection, when I just plug in the battery, smoke go outside. When I unsolder it, I checked that this component, I will show you more closely. That component, I guess it works as a down step module, so it burned. You see, it's damaged. Okay, and unplug it, check the flight controller. I was very surprised because it works. There is no 5 volts on this board, and it works well, so I can prove you. So there is Betaflight here, flight controller, and connection. So you see, I also connected, I configured the receiver, so now it's worked well. So it looks like it's perfect. I can connect. So the Betaflight. Okay, it's working. Looks like it's working. Buzzer works. Receiver works. So everything looks like working, but when I unplugged it in and connected after burning, I connected to the quad, connected to the speed controller. I plugged once again the battery, and the smoke comes not from this board, but from this. It was unexpectedly, the smoke comes from that components, which is here. I will show you closely a bit later. So all of them getting smoked, also motors getting smoked. And I need to highlight that it happens just after was burned this board, this flight controller board. Now I will try to show the burned components. So that component, you can see it also has different color. Sorry. You see the dot which is burnt. I covered the special covering. It prevents the moisture getting inside. So when I checked this board, I realized that it works well. After that, I covered this special anti-moisture coverage, and all these components, you can see they had the, you see that one, it's the coverage, it's very nice, and this, you see it's damaged, it's burnt. Also this component, that components, sorry, that components, this, you see also it's changed. All these components, when I plugged the battery to this board, it's getting smoked. So I don't know how, but somehow this board burned itself and burned this working perfectly electronic speed controller. It's disaster. I can just show you also. I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter, but I need to show it to you. Okay, I have a battery here. So plus, minus. So 12 volts, almost. So it's 3S battery. Okay, now we try to connect flight controller plus and minus. So you see, it doesn't work. Doesn't heating, and there is no 5 volts on the outputs. So 12 volts input. So 12 volts, and for example, so there is no voltage. And also you see the receiver doesn't work, but it works with USB, because USB it's 5 volts. Oh, sorry. Now it's working. So once again, somehow, I don't know the details, but somehow I lost 2 boards with this one, with this defective board. That was burned, and now it's useless because I can't use it without back, which is installed inside, because this setup I cannot place it anywhere, the additional back. And moreover, I burned this flight controller board, and I don't know the motors, are they working now or not, because when I connect this, for example, when I try to connect all these 4 motors getting smoked, and all these components starting smoke just right after the connection. So I don't want to show it to you because maybe it's working, maybe not, but if I try to connect it, I think 100% will be burnt. So I really appreciate for your kind assistance with solving this issue, or maybe some few comments, maybe you have some claims, I don't know, some claims regarding this board, because for me I was really sad, because before I had perfectly working this board, and when I received this board I burned the new board and that one. So I'm very upset with the quality of this flight controller. Thank you.